Welcome to Viva Magazine Live, where we spotlight leaders, creators, and change makers in our community. I'm your host, Blanca Blanco, and today we have two incredible guests making waves right here in Houston, from the courtroom to the concert stage. Joining us is Al Flores, attorney, entrepreneur, and president of TNT Live Promotions, and Robert Ceballos, realtor and a powerhouse jazz event producer, bringing us soulful experiences in our city. But before we hear from our guests, let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, Commissioner Adrian Garcia. So don't go away. We'll be right back with two powerhouses. Thank you. Welcome back to Viva Magazine Live. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you both could make it. After the heavy rain yesterday and the parade today, we had a lot going on, and it was a beautiful morning today, wasn't it?
It was.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Yes, absolutely. I know it's been a busy weekend, but the weekend isn't over yet, right, Al? Right. Right. Thank you for joining us both.
You're welcome.
Both of you. So, Al, I want to start with you. You wear many hats. You're an attorney, an entrepreneur, and president of TNT Live Promotions. Tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got started.
Absolutely. So, I played music all through high school and college. My dad comes from a musical background. He had an orchestra back in those days. And we were all set to go to the West Coast to try our hand in music.
Yeah.
My dad gave me a very important piece of advice and told me, look, keep music as a hobby and focus on your education.
Yeah.
So I did. I went on to law school. But throughout this period of time, I had always had an interest in and supported live music.
Yeah.
So it just made sense over the years that we continue to support so many wonderful live musicians throughout our city.
Right.
And that's what I did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can see why that inspired you. It comes all from your father and his musical talent, and my God, that's incredible. It really is. Robert, you become a recognizable name in Houston's jazz scene. And how did you get started in event production, by the way?
I've been a musician all my life and performed all over. And so in the late 70s, early 80s, opened a jazz club along with my parents, which I never wanted to go into business with them, but you know, when I look back on it, I was in the restaurant business kind of all the time, you know, playing in different places. But so
your parents own a restaurant?
They owned a restaurant called Las Brisas. It was on West Gray and Taft.
Oh, I see.
I'm sorry, West Gray and Stanford. And they had another one on Taft before. But yeah, their success was rising at the time, and Houston was booming at the time. And I had just left my band leader job at the Sheraton Town and Country, where I had been for a couple of years, and I was in the middle of looking for something else that I wanted to do. Yeah. Because it was an exciting time back then. There were 10 jazz clubs in Houston at that time, and
I was just going to ask you what drew you specifically to jazz and why in Houston, right?
Yeah, it's just something that evolved naturally for me. I started playing at a very young age and listening to the great Mexican music that I grew up with. Yeah. And I liken that a lot to the standards that jazz players like to play. Right. Because it's good music with good changes and you know, improvising and that. So I think that's what took me in that direction. And then, you know, I had influences growing up from older musicians that said, you know, that advised me that I should listen to jazz, because that's where, you know, that's where you get
definitely good music.
Yeah, it can be most creative, and I took that to heart, and you know, because jazz is something you have to learn to like. Yeah. And once you do, then you understand. Right. And so that's what I did, and I'm glad I did. Yeah. because most of the musicians playing on pop records are all jazz musicians anyway.
That's where they started.
That's
probably.
where, yeah, and that's
got their beginnings.
Yeah,
anyway.
they're able to interpret the music that these songwriters want.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it got started, and we got together, and I didn't know if it was going to work. We entered into a 90-day agreement, and 30 days in, it wasn't quite happening.
Yeah.
And my father pulled me over to the bar. He said, "Come here, come to the bar with me."
We got something to talk about.
Yeah, he had already had a couple of beers, and I said, "Okay, there's something going on." And he said, "Can't do it. Can't afford you. Gonna have to let you go."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, you know, we agreed to 90 days. If there's 30 more, give me 30 more days." I didn't know what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
And this is where I discovered the power of the media, or power of marketing.
Right.
Because at that time, this is a completely surprise to me. Channel 11 was down the street, and they would come to the restaurant, and they called me up and said, "Look, we're going to do a story on the club," because they liked it.
Right.
And that was the PM magazine. I don't know if you remember PM magazine.
I don't recall it.
Well, it was a 5 o'clock local show that connected to the national show, which was, it eventually became Final Edition or something. I can't remember the name of the show, but it was a very popular show at the time. People tuned in to find out what was going around town.
Right.
Well, I had a singer from Texas. She had been in Texas, Rosanna Vitro. She was in from New York. I had hired her to come down and sing. So she was here, and I had a trio, and they filmed us. That was on a Thursday, I believe. The show came out on a Thursday. Well, Friday, we had lines going around the block both ways.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was incredible. I couldn't believe how powerful that was.
Yeah, that is powerful. Well, the media is powerful.
It is powerful. And
so let me get with Al. Al, running a production company while practicing law must be very intense for you, is it?
It is, but it's just the love of the art, you know, that makes it real easy, because over the years, like Robert, I've known Robert all my adult life.
Yeah.
In fact, what Robert doesn't tell you is that Las Brisas, his jazz club upstairs, became like a musical university for many of us young students who were just engaging in music and wanted to learn more about it.
Right.
Through his club, some of the most prolific artists appeared and performed there. Besides Rosanna Vitro, Joe Campisi, Tony Campisi, Dreen Ivey, and Luis Gasca, so many artists came through there that it just opened our whole world to this love of art that we engage.
Well, you mentioned Luis Gasca. Both of you guys put on this incredible show not too long ago at the Red Cat Jazz Club. That was incredible. We want to run a couple of clips of that, so we'll show the folks out there what this looked like. It was an incredible show.
Thank you.
So, Al, how does the two worlds, being an attorney and also being in the promotions, how do they complement each other? I mean, how do they?
Well, it seems to work pretty easily for me, because again, I grew up in music, and so law was a passion, of course, but working with these venues, contracting with these venues, working with these artists, it just seemed to flow naturally.
Right.
But the bigger picture was our love for music.
Yeah,
the love for music
course.
made it seamless.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys, going back to the Luis Gasca show, you all really put together an incredible show. It was awesome. And you know, Luis Gasca is a guy that, even though he's 86 years old, he had a lot of energy, didn't he?
Unbelievable. Like I tell people, from Jeff Davis to Miles Davis, this man has done and performed and recorded with some of the most important artists of our time.
Yeah.
From Pérez Prado, Beto Villa, Little Joe and La Familia, to Janis Joplin, Santana,
Herbie Hancock,
Mongo Santa Maria, Joe Henderson, and even George Benson.
Yeah.
The man has performed and recorded with some of the most important artists of our time.
Santana, Malo.
Everybody.
I mean,
Everybody.
the guy's incredible. He put on such a great show. You know, Robert, getting to you, producing live music events comes with challenges, right?
Correct.
So what's been one of the toughest moments that you faced, and how do you all overcome it, or how did you overcome it?
Well, I'm a firm believer in that, in particular to jazz and putting on a performance of that nature, it has to be put together properly. It has to be presented in a way that people, how should I say, they kind of give an idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
And so it has to be presented right. So if there's a challenge, it's that. It's that you have to make sure that everything is the setting is proper for what's about to happen, which is creative music, that if it's done right and if it's presented to where the musicians feel comfortable, the magic can come across, and people will get the idea. Right.
So what keeps you motivated when things don't go well? I mean, or go as planned? What do y'all say about that?
I'm a drummer.
Yeah.
We have a lot of power in that regard. We can light up a room or dim it.
That's right,
so
you do.
That's a question for him, because it's not for me. I know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
What do you do?
No, it's really, the artists, there's so many wonderful professionals out there. These artists have years and years of experience.
Yes.
They know they can read a room.
Yeah.
And they know how to lift up the situation if it's going a different direction. So these guys are pros.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. So Houston is this is a question for both of y'all. So Houston is a very competitive city. So what makes your work stand out?
Oh, wow. You're asking me that, right?
Either one of you.
My work in terms of playing music?
Yes.
Oh, well, I'd like to think that I've experienced a lot of different situations, and am able to maneuver just about any situation that arises. And
right.
I still love playing music.
Yeah.
And capturing the nuances of whatever type of music I'm playing is very important, and that's what makes me happy. So I feel like if I can make myself happy, then it'll come across and people will feel that.
Right.
And so.
Yeah, you got to feel the audience.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to feel that audience.
You got to play the room, as they say. Yeah.
Right.
But I hope that answers your question.
No, of course. What about you, Al?
So Houston is the music capital of the South in many regards.
Yeah.
We have some of the finest musicians in the country right here in Houston.
Yeah.
And you've got institutions like HSPVA,
yeah,
where some of these young musicians are almost Grammy contenders now.
Right.
So in the old days, in the 70s, to make it in music, you'd go to the West Coast. Not anymore.
Right. Or East Coast, right?
Yes,
New York or
Coast.
whatever, yeah.
And in fact, that's what Luis Gasca did.
Yeah.
He went to the East Coast, Philadelphia, and then he went to the West Coast. But today, we've got some wonderful institutions that are fostering this musical industry, like HSPVA and others.
Right,
U of H, TSU, Rice. And so wonderful musicians are here in this city.
Right.
And so our goal, what we want to do at TNT Live Promotions, is encourage venues to host these musicians.
Yeah.
We don't want them going anywhere else. We want them staying right here in Houston, because there's a wealth of talent right here.
That's right. And you know that venue, the Red Cat Jazz Club, that was a nice venue. So we want to get a shout out to the Red Cat Jazz Cafe. It was really a nice show that y'all put on there. And it's just the right size,
There's wonderful venues. Sam and Emma Pink of the Red Cat Jazz Cafe are wonderful stewards of this music. They host wonderful musicians. Herbie Hancock has performed there before.
Yeah.
So we're very excited when they open up their hearts and their doors to this venue.
Yeah. So thank you to them, because they were exquisite hosts.
Yes.
They sure were. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. We're going to hear a word from our sponsor, so don't go away. And welcome back to Viva Magazine Live. We're here with Al Flores and Robert Ceballos, talking business, music, and making an impact in Houston. So let's talk about TNT Live Promotions. Al, what is the mission behind your company?
It really is to help promote the amazing musicians we have in this town.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, so many musicians leave Houston, leave Texas and go to the West Coast or East Coast.
Right.
But we believe that we want to keep this talent here in Houston, Harris County.
Right.
And so we'll work together. We're working together with these musicians, with different venues, to provide opportunities for these folks to stay right here.
Right.
because the talent needs to stay in Houston, and many of it comes from Houston.
Right.
So it only makes sense for us.
So what kind of events or experiences have you seen that you're the most proud of producing? Because I know, look, I know some background on you, Al, that you had a restaurant, I guess it was last year, that you had a lot of musicians come out, and we were so happy. It was right there in the East End. And was that kind of an inspiration for you to move further on it?
It really was, you know, sister.
Yeah.
Gino Madrid, so many musicians.
Oh, yeah. Tito Zapata.
Tito Zapata, you've got Tim Reese, you got David de la Garza. These guys play with La Mafia, but when they're not touring with La Mafia, they're playing jazz all over the city.
Right.
And Latin jazz.
Right.
So that was really
Jorge
the inspiration.
Lebron as well, you had him out there.
Jorge Lebron, there's so many amazing musicians in this town that we want to try to help foster opportunities for them to stay right here.
Right.
To work with different venues to showcase their talents.
That's right, and we need to keep them here. So Robert, let me ask you, your jazz events have built a strong following as well. So what makes jazz and events so truly memorable?
Oh gosh, I guess, you know, it goes back to the presentation of it, but you know, having the right chemistry on stage for the players, and just allowing them to do what they do best.
Right.
And you know, letting them shine.
Right.
And there are so many musicians here that are very capable of doing that.
Right.
So that's what you know. That's what I think makes the music powerful, is that you let it breathe.
Yes,
let the
that's
music,
right. That is a great word. You let it breathe. That's what I was going to ask you next is, how do you curate talent and create that vibe that keeps people coming back to it? So you got to create that vibe for people.
The vibe. You have to stay plugged in to what's going on around town, who's doing what, and try and stay in tune to, you know, to the energy that's going on in the city. And you know, it's kind of hard to do sometimes, especially these days, you know, with people not, you know, with social media and things like that. We get more into the screens than we do into live performances. Right. But getting out there and doing that, and just trying to stay connected.
Right. So let me ask you both, how did you two connect, and what has your collaboration been like?
Yeah.
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, sure.
His dad and my dad were friends.
Okay.
Yeah. And his dad.
So y'all go way back.
Well, yeah. Apparently, I mean, his father played piano at the restaurant, you know, early on.
Yeah.
And he was there quite a bit, as I recall.
Yeah.
Al. And so that's how I got to know Al. I met him through his dad.
Yeah.
And so it's been a long relationship, longer than, you know,
long journey together.
Yeah, long journey.
What do you say, Al?
You know, what I loved about Las Brisas is that second floor small venue gave us an opportunity to expose us to some of the most amazing artists all over the country.
Yeah.
Rosanna Vitro from New York.
Yeah.
Joe Farrell, Tony Campisi, Luis Gasca, Dreen Ivy.
Yeah.
This gave us an opportunity to be exposed to music form that we weren't used to. I was used to playing Tejano music, top 40.
Right.
But when we started going to his club and listening to these folks, it opened up a whole nother world of opportunity.
Yeah.
And so I grew to love that form of music.
Right.
And so that's why I'm a big advocate of it.
Yeah. Right. So y'all going to bring some of these celebrities back, some of these jazz players back?
We are. We're now in talks with Richard Bean, the writer and singer of Suavecito, and other artists who support major artists throughout the country, like Santana.
Right.
In Malo and others, and we want to bring them to Houston. But the key here is to use Houston musicians to back these artists up.
That is a great idea, because you're really giving some exposure to local talent.
Yeah.
And that is really, you're going to get a really big following from these local musicians for that reason.
And if I can just say that there's a wealth of talent, young talent, kids that are still in high school, that are unbelievable musicians already, thanks to HSPVA and other institutions like that. And I mean, there's just, jazz and music in general in Houston is in very good hands with these kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's David Caceres, for one. I just saw a video of him and the youth jazz orchestra that he's leading now. unbelievable what they're doing.
Yeah.
And David, of course, is one of the finest musicians I've ever run into anywhere. And so he's doing a great job with the kids now.
Right.
And we're lucky to have him.
Yeah.
And that's going to do nothing but grow. He's doing something there that's going to be around for a very long time.
Yeah.
And thank goodness he's doing it here.
Al, what can audience expect when you bring your talents together?
They can expect a wonderful collaboration of some amazing young talent here in this town, together with more seasoned musicians that will come together and showcase the amazing talent and the amazing world of jazz. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think we're going to try and put on the best show that we can, and organize it in a way that it will be well attended.
Yes.
With help from the media and with help from yourself and other people that
absolutely
that have that ability.
And that we're talking about TNT Live Promotions.
That's correct.
That's awesome. Right. So I know Houston is rich in culture. How important is it for you guys to give back to the community through your work?
I think it's very important because the musicians, you got to remember, these musicians have been practicing and honing their instruments and talents since they were young men and women.
Yes. And
they spend a lifetime of perfecting their craft.
Right.
So we think that needs to be showcased, rewarded, and recognized throughout the community. So we're excited to do that through TNT Live Promotions.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that trying to remove any barriers that might be there for these kids to not be able to do what they can do. So trying to deal with things that make it easier for people to come forward and show their talent and grow their talent.
Right. You're right.
So
when you gave back to the community, I know you put on the Luis Gasca concert because he was going through some medical challenges, and that was kind of giving back to help him get through his medical challenges. And so do you plan to do more of that kind of work?
We do, and in fact, Luis has got a wealth of information of bands that he's played with.
Yes.
Again, from Herbie Hancock to everybody in between.
Right.
There's so many musicians out there that have agreed already to work with Luis to come back to town.
Right.
To showcase the local talent, coupled with these seasoned musicians, that we believe will give back to their dedication to this art form.
Yeah.
That's so important for our community.
Yeah, it is.
So we're excited to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see your events as more than, I should state it this way. I think that y'all see your events more than just entertainment, and this is just a way that you guys bring people together.
That's a great point. The way I look at it, Blanca, is that, again, many musicians spend all their life honing their craft and their instrument. And that's all they've done.
Yeah.
Many of them don't have retirement.
Right.
They don't have any other thing to fall back on. And so we believe that anything we can do to work with, for example, the Texas Music Office, to provide some kind of subsistence to these individuals, I think it's important.
Oh.
And it's an important mission statement for TNT Live Promotions to be involved in that.
Right.
So we want to work together with this organization and other organizations to provide some security to these folks so they can continue to immerse themselves into the best musical talent that we deserve in this community.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, and I think trying to get the recognition of the talent here in the state and in the country that maybe Austin has.
Yeah.
We have, I've worked in both cities a lot, and there are great musicians in Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, here. Austin seems to get all the accolades for good reason.
Because Austin's weird, right? That's what they say.
Well, it's become weirdly expensive.
That's right.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Still weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's gotten a lot of recognition, and it deserves its recognition. But
they do.
We can spread that wealth around a little bit because there's some great musicians here as well.
That's right. Yeah. So let me ask you guys, what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs or creatives who want to follow a similar path? What would you say to them?
Yeah, no, I think that's very important. Of course, they're getting their education, whether it's through HSPV or the other wonderful institutions here.
Right.
But I think it's important to sit down with these people who have already been through the process, like Luis Gasca,
Yeah.
who got signed by major labels.
Right.
He already knows that process. He knows how to work with a variety of musicians. So in fact, Luis is going to be coming back on a regular basis, we hope, with other artists, that we hope these younger musicians will have an opportunity to sit down with him and others to understand the business side of this craft.
Right.
And so we hope with that will help further educate their process, because again, the goal for these musicians is to record their own albums, go on tour, but there's a business side to it that's very important.
Right.
And we hope to be very involved in that process.
That is a great point, because a lot of these creatives, they don't think about the business side of it much, do they? I mean, not really, because they're creating music,
Right.
Yep.
and that's what's important to them.
Right.
So they need guys like you, to help them along and make sure that their career's on track and making, you know, the income that they need to make in order to sustain themselves. You know, and that's the hard part. I mean, getting somebody to run the business and run it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the best people in Houston that I know of, that I kind of grew up with, that is very good at both of those things, is Paul English. He's a local pianist that you probably, I don't know, you may have heard his name or not.
I
but
have.
Yeah. So he's always been very good at both things, and so he's to me a model of how it could be.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, the kids have to hone their talent first.
Right.
And then so focus on that. One of the things that I was a younger man the first time I worked with Luis Gasca, and I asked him, because he had done a lot of things by the time I knew him, and I said, "How did you do it? How did you get recording contracts when nobody was getting them in those days?" And he got 3 different contracts and worked as a producer for those same companies. And the thing that he said to me, he said was, "You have to make noise."
Yeah.
And he didn't mean just racket. He meant, first of all, you have to make yourself heard.
Right.
By being great, because he was, you know, he is.
Yeah.
And was in those days.
Oh, he's so talented.
And so you have to make noise.
Yeah.
He said to me, "You got to make noise." And euphemistically, he said, "You got to make noise, local."
Right.
Make noise.
Yeah.
And he said they had to listen to me.
Right.
There's the
he
advice.
needed to be heard. I mean, he was out there, and he was. You got to be a little bit aggressive to make sure that they are listening to you.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's next, Al?
We're excited about doing different collaborations. For example, we talked about Richard Bean, the writer and singer of Suavecito, bringing him to Houston. But we're going to work with other collaborations, so those seasoned musicians can work together with the young talent here in Houston to further develop their careers.
Right.
And so that's what I talked about, the business aspect of it. We're going to work on that as well. But we're excited about doing that.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. And Robert, what do you have in mind?
Well, I'm on the same page. We're going to do some exciting things here in the future.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to putting a lot of energy into it.
Okay, so where can viewers follow you or get tickets? You have a website or what? Where can they follow
we
you?
just had our first production, so it's TNT Live promotions at gmail.com for now. Our website's coming. We're getting other social media pages that are being developed as we speak. But right now, we're excited about the collaborations that are coming to Houston, Texas.
Oh, I just can't wait to see more of you guys, really.
Great. Yeah.
So I want to thank you, Al and Robert. Thank you both for coming on the show at Viva Magazine Live. And I want to ask you one last question. Is there anything you want to say to the audiences today of Viva Magazine Live?
Well, we just want the audience to, wherever their favorite venue, please encourage those venues to support live music. Whether it's a restaurant or your favorite drinking hole or any other place, please encourage the proprietors to hire live musicians. We've got a wealth of talent right here in Houston, Texas. We've got to showcase that talent.
Yeah, thank you very much, Al. Thank you, Robert. Thank you both for joining us and for everything that you do to elevate Houston's music, jazz scene, and business, and our cultural scene. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And to our viewers, be sure to support local talent and stay connected with Viva Magazine Live for more uplifting and inspiring stories. I'm your host. We'll see you next time. Hasta luego, Houston.